Hello there, boys and girls. Max Scoville here for Rev3 Games, and I'm here with a very belated review of Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Now, this game came out about a week ago, and we didn't get our copy until Thursday, so bit of a rush job. I didn't get a chance to tackle the multiplayer. I apologize for that. I hear it's quite good and very balanced, but this is mostly my impressions on the single-player campaign side of the game. Let's get on with it. For the uninitiated, Cybertron is the home planet of the Autobots and Decepticons, the two Transformer factions embroiled in civil war over the resource Energon, and Fall of Cybertron takes place right when the Autobots are trying to pack up their shit and leave in their big Ark spaceship for the greener pastures of planet Earth. Since they haven't actually been to Earth yet, none of the Transformers have modeled themselves after human machinery. They all just kind of transform from robots into sort of these generic, futuristic-looking vehicles. They're not really robots in disguise, they're just kind of robots that turn into other sort of different robots. In the previous Transformers games, there were essentially two parallel campaigns, one for Autobots and one for Decepticons, each telling a different side of the same story. In Fall of Cybertron, there's one linear campaign that switches players back and forth between sides. While this gives more of a sense of variety in terms of good versus evil, switching between characters frequently makes for a somewhat scatterbrained plot and limits character development. As far as sequels go, Fall of Cybertron really doesn't make the best first impression. The early levels of the campaign feel extremely similar to the first game, primarily putting players in control of economy-class Autobots and having them go through the motions of running around shooting some Decepticons, but that does change as you get further into the game. High Moon's Transformers games are third-person shooters at their core, and that's clearly the area that's been improved upon most here. A big addition are the Teletran 1 terminals scattered throughout the game, which can be used to purchase weapons and upgrades with Energon shards, which are gathered from fallen enemies in crates. New weapons are unlocked by finding blueprints, though they still need to be purchased using the shards.
Optimus, how about calling in an artillery strike?
While shooting is a big part of the game, the transforming element obviously comes into play as well. While in vehicle mode, your robot will take less damage and will have access to different weapons. How enjoyable and effective your vehicle mode will be depends entirely on which character you're controlling. None of the wheeled vehicles really handle like proper cars or trucks, since they're actually just weird Cybertronian hovercrafts, but the jets and helicopters are quite satisfying to play around with. At some points, the vehicle mode of a robot feels completely tacked on, and other times it's the core focus of the gameplay, and it's lots of fun. Visually, Fall of Cybertron isn't really anything to write home about. It's a bit more colorful than its predecessor, but Cybertron is still a planet that's designed by and populated by robots, so literally everything is made out of clanking metal. I love big clanking robots as much as the next guy, but when literally everything on your screen is just a big metal robot, robots get a little bit bland. There are occasional frame rate issues, but overall things look pretty okay. When it's trying to be a badass third-person shooter that shows the gritty side of Cybertronian civil war, Fall of Cybertron is competent, albeit slightly mediocre, but when it completely pulls out the stops and falls back on its over-the-top 80s cartoon roots, it makes me feel like a kid again. Towards the end of the game, you take control of Grimlock, the lumbering Autobot warlord who talks like the Incredible Hulk and transforms into a robotic, fire-breathing Tyrannosaurus Rex. Running around and trampling Insecticons as Grimlock is easily one of my favorite gaming moments of 2012, but I had to trudge through several hours of forgettable filler to reach that point. Though it has a few thrilling moments, Transformers Fall of Cybertron isn't consistently great. That being said, it's never downright bad. If you're going in expecting an incredible thrill ride of breakthrough gameplay, you will be let down. However, if you keep in mind that this is a video game based on a line of toys that transform from robots into cars, you'll realize how much of a solid job High Moon Studios has done with the license. And if you're a hardcore Transformers fan, you've probably already beaten the game.
No one's tougher than me!
So, Transformers Fall of Cybertron. If you're a fan of Transformers, it's probably a safe bet. I can't wholeheartedly recommend going out and picking it up right away for full retail price, but it is worth checking out, so maybe rent it or wait till the price drops a little bit. High Moon Studios did a really good job with it, but you gotta remember it is still a toy. It's got the Hasbro logo at the beginning, and if I was a 13-year-old boy, this would be the best game right now. I'd be so excited about it. As always, you could stay tuned to our channel right here for more games coverage. We will have more reviews coming very soon in this crazy holiday season. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Max Scoville. We're Rev3 Games on there. Let me know what you think in the comments. I apologize for not covering the multiplayer, but you know, we're on a schedule. Roll out.